Alright guys, welcome back for this video. My second recording of this video because I deleted the other one. So, I will try to do the video again and see if it goes as well. Alright guys, so Nintendo just released their announcement that they're doing a Direct tomorrow. So finally, after a long month-and-a-half wait, we're getting a Direct. And there's been some rumors that it was going to happen today for the last couple of days. Or rumors it was going to happen tomorrow for the last couple of days. So, I guess the rumors were true. So that's good. And speaking of rumors, there's also been rumors that Nintendo have like 10 or 11, 12 games unannounced for this year that they could put out this year without worrying about any type of major delays. So that's something else we're going to talk about in this video, because I feel like any of those games could possibly be part of the Direct, because it would make sense for that to be announced now. So yeah, let's talk a little bit about the Direct. The Direct is tomorrow, February 13th, in America, 2 p.m. on Eastern or Pacific Coast, and 5 p.m. on the East Coast. So that'll be nice to watch. I will be home and available to watch it when it launches, which I love doing it. So we'll have another video tomorrow after the video, and we'll talk about the Direct, and hopefully it gives us some good news. Now, a few things about it. On their Twitter, they did mention that it's going to be about 35 minutes long, and it's going to be talking about the Nintendo Switch. So I think that means there's no 3DS being talked about, so that's good. I guess if you're a Switch fan and not a 3DS fan. But I think that means that a lot of it, the whole video is probably going to be Nintendo Switch games, and hopefully that means they're not going to talk about too much about old Switch games they've already announced, maybe a quick release date, but hopefully it's going to be more about new things for the year. Especially with the Metroid Prime 4 being restarted. That kind of probably left a little people happy and angry at the same time, because they're kind of hoping maybe this year. Now it could be who knows how many years down the line. But it could mean it's a better game when it finally comes out. So that's good. So I think they needed this Direct to kind of like spark some good news, good conversation, and good press basically for their system. And want to keep that momentum just going and going and going. So, what does that mean is going to happen tomorrow? That's what the rumor games that I think people have been talking about, what can Nintendo have, is kind of what's going to come out tomorrow. Now, I can't think of 10 or 12 games. Actually, I probably could, but I don't think the 10 or 12 I'm thinking of would all be coming out this year. But let's talk about what could possibly happen for tomorrow, and the games that I think Nintendo haven't announced that they could easily pump out this year and fill up their log without having to do too much work, and still focus on new big titles like, a sequel to Breath of the Wild, a sequel to Mario Odyssey, stuff like that. So I think the easiest thing for Nintendo to do this year to announce new games for the Switch that they could fill in some of their empty spots now that they're redoing Metroid Prime and anything else that might come up this year to keep momentum and keep talk going in the positive. Ports, obviously. So the first couple of ports that I would like to see coming for Nintendo would be Skyward Sword, for, the Wii port, and I tried that game a couple times. I do like it, but I always stop because the motion control wasn't right. I wish you had the option of doing a Pro controller and just playing it like that. Now, if they remake it, hopefully you have the choice of whatever control style you want. Now, that would be a good sell. It'd be a new Zelda game for the Switch that's a decent amount old, that a lot of fans would like to revisit it, and a lot of new fans would get a chance to play it. Along the lines of Legend of Zelda, Wind Waker and Twilight Princess. I think that'd be another series that they could port over. They've already done it to the Wii U, so why not just, bring everything over from the Wii U onto the Switch? It's a quick, seems simple enough, and if it's the right game, it's probably definitely going to make your money back from what you're going to pay to port it over. So it just makes sense, I think. Now, on top of the ports, I would also like to see Nintendo Land. I really loved Nintendo Land for the Wii U. It was a fun little game to play. It had great replayability. Almost all the modes they had in it had something fun. I'd like to see them port that over. I don't know how they would do it, but if they could, I think that'd be a fun little game to release for it. If you haven't played it for the Wii U, play it. I mean, I think it came with most Wii U bundles. If not, it's not an expensive game. Definitely pick it up. It's great little mini games that I think would make a great new Switch game with maybe a couple more levels, features onto it, maybe a Nintendo Land Deluxe. I think that'd be cool. On top of that, other ports, I would like to see. This one's a little bit different. I would like to see them port some 3DS games over to the Switch. If they're not going with the 3DS anymore, don't leave the 3DS out, out there and not do anything with it. I'd like to see them maybe do like a Legend of Zelda bundle pack for the Switch. Maybe a couple Legend of Zelda games for the 3DS bundled up, put on the Switch. Or maybe some, Super Mario Brothers bundled up games from the Switch. From the 3DS onto the Switch. Like, 3 or 4 games, or maybe like 3DS greatest hits brought over to the Switch. The other thing is maybe some of the newer 3DS games, bring those over and make some, not like discount games, but $40 games. Like, oh, these are 3DS games that we're bringing over. The other thing too is maybe, what are you going to do with some of those franchises on the 3DS? When you make their sequels, are they going to be full-on Switch games, or do you want to keep them the style of 3DS but just for the Switch and then do a $40 price point? That's what I would like to see with 2D Zeldas. I think, keep making your 2D Zeldas from the 3DS viewpoint, but onto the Switch for $40, not the $60. So that's how you kind of keep the two games separately. $40 for 2D, $60 for a big open world game. On top of that, you have the ports and you have the remakes of some of the older games. I would like to see them do a Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time HD remaster for the Switch. I know if you've watched some of my other videos, I say that a lot, but I think that'd be a great game to come back out. Or do a 2-pack. Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask, HD remake. One cartridge, buy it. $60. I think that'd be great. I think that'd sell well. Alright, so let's get away from the ports right now. The other thing I could see them doing is announcing, maybe some new games that aren't some big franchises. I think if they have like Pikmin 4, that would be announced at E3. I think like something like the Metroid Prime trilogy redone for the Switch is probably another E3 game. The game that I could see them doing for a Direct before E3 like we have right now, I could see them maybe announcing Super Mario Maker 3D Land. That may also be another E3, but I could see them maybe being like, hey, maybe we announce it during this Direct, and E3 we get more of a video for it of what the game will be. I'd like to see them doing 3D World, Super Mario Brothers 3D World for the Wii U. Another game I think they should port over with maybe like added levels, which, gives you kind of a 2D Mario, but you can go up and down in kind of a 3D space. Not so much like Odyssey or Mario 64, but enough to where people could create games in 3D that would be fun. On top of that, I'd like to kind of see them do like overworld maps to the 3D world so people can make their own maps and upload a map of levels instead of just one at a time. Other games that I could see them announcing is, I don't think any new IPs. I think those would be for E3. I would love to see them do possibly, new downloadable content for Mario Odyssey, or new downloadable content for Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, where, you know, it adds like a whole new story to the same world, but you're not really overdoing the world. Maybe it's set, you know, a couple years after the events. You know, new towns have sprung up because they're not afraid to go out in the wild anymore. They've been digging, building new things, and they unlock new ruins across the whole land. And they accidentally discover some evil powers they've released. And now you have to go out and, you know, fix these ruins that they found, maybe dungeons, and, you know, stop the baddie along the way. And re-exploring the new world with all these new little towns that are up, new little ruins they've uncovered. I think that wouldn't be too hard to do. I'm not a programmer, developer, or anything, but, you know, I think that would allow them to read the assets pretty easily without making a whole new game. So that'd be nice. Maybe a couple more worlds to Mario Odyssey. Yet again, I feel like these would be more for E3, but you just never know with Nintendo. I don't think they'll announce any hardware tomorrow, but never know. Other games, I think that's really all that I can see for right now. I feel like a lot of ports are going to be announced. Maybe some downloadable content, maybe more Splatoon downloadable content. But I feel like the ports are probably going to be for this Direct. And then some release dates of the games they've already announced to really solidify those. But yeah, I can't wait. It's like you never really know. It's kind of like a little tease of what's to come. I hope some of the ports I'm talking about do come. And I hope that they kind of tell what's going to happen to 3DS. Maybe they give some hints based off of some of the games they bring over or announce tomorrow. Maybe they announce some 3DS sequels of games to the Switch that were just 3DS exclusives for the longest time. And that might give us an idea that the 3DS is officially dead. Here's hoping. I think the 3DS is still great, especially the 2DS, an $80 device that plays all the new games they make for it. So I feel like the 3DS may stick around a lot longer for third party, maybe. Who knows? All right, guys. Let me know what you think what's going to happen tomorrow. What games you'd like to see, and what games you think they might announce. Maybe there's a new Donkey Kong on the way. Who knows? All right, guys. Have a good night. Keep on gaming, and I'll catch you later.